Have you ever walked into your home and noticed a spider quietly spinning its web in a corner? Some people feel startled or even scared, while others are simply curious. But have you ever wondered, is it just nature? Or could there be a deeper message behind it according to Islam? Many Muslims today pause at these small events and ask themselves similar questions. When a spider appears inside the house, is it purely coincidence, or could Allah be sending a subtle reminder through His creation? Islam teaches us balance. Some occurrences carry spiritual significance, while others are part of the natural order that Allah designed for a reason. Take the story of a family in Cairo who noticed spiders repeatedly appearing in certain corners of their home. At first, they felt uneasy. Was it a warning? A sign? After researching and discussing, they learned to examine both the scientific and spiritual perspectives, understanding the spider's role in nature, while also reflecting on possible lessons in mindfulness and protection. This teaches an important principle. Allah has created everything with purpose and balance. As He says in the Qur'an, "There is not a thing but that it exalts Allah by His praise." 1744. Even the smallest creature, like a spider, fulfills a role in the world and reminds us of Allah's wisdom. Have you ever seen spiders appear in your home and wondered why? Stay until the end, because what we discover may surprise you. You might be seeing a sign without realizing it. Have you ever seen a spider in your home and felt it meant something? Comment your story below. The natural explanation of spiders. Spiders are more than just unexpected visitors in our homes. They are an essential part of the natural ecosystem. Their presence helps maintain balance, controlling insects and keeping the environment healthier for humans and other creatures. Consider a village in India where residents noticed that mosquitoes were everywhere during the rainy season, spreading diseases and making life uncomfortable. Interestingly, homes with more spiders had far fewer mosquitoes, and people realized that these tiny creatures were quietly protecting their households. The spiders built webs in corners and windows, capturing countless insects and reducing the risk of disease. This shows how creatures that seem insignificant actually play a vital role in sustaining life. Scientists explain spider behavior as instinctual. Spiders naturally seek safe places for shelter, sources of food, and suitable spots to build webs. Their movement into human homes is usually guided by these needs, not by any supernatural intent. Understanding this reminds us that most spider appearances are purely natural, part of the system Allah has designed. From an Islamic perspective, this awareness connects deeply with Quranic wisdom. Allah tells us, "And there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision." 11:6. This verse reminds us that even small creatures like spiders are provided for by Allah and serve a purposeful role in His creation. Nothing in this world is random. Every creature, no matter how tiny, has a role to fulfill. Before panicking, consider why this creature is really here. Could this small spider be doing something bigger than you think? You might be surprised by its purpose in your home. Do you see spiders as a nuisance or as part of nature? Share your opinion below. Spiders in Islamic teachings. In Islam, even the smallest creatures can carry profound lessons and play a role in Allah's protection of His believers. One of the most famous examples is the story of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during his migration to Medina. When the Prophet and Abu Bakr hid in a cave to escape their enemies, a spider spun a web across the entrance. From the outside, it appeared untouched for weeks, giving the impression that the cave had been abandoned. This small act of nature became a shield, protecting the lives of the Prophet and his companion. It shows that Allah can use even tiny creatures as instruments of protection, demonstrating His wisdom and care. This teaching is not limited to history. Consider a modern parallel from 2025. A woman in Istanbul discovered a spider blocking a doorway to her storage room. Shortly after, a sudden flood threatened to enter her home, but the doorway remained partially blocked, preventing water from reaching her valuable belongings. She felt that this small, unassuming spider served as a subtle reminder of Allah's protection, emphasizing that signs can appear in everyday life. These examples illustrate a vital point. Even the smallest creatures can fulfill purposes beyond what we see. Spiders may seem insignificant or even annoying, yet in Islam, their existence and actions are meaningful when observed with reflection and mindfulness. Could this tiny spider be more than just a creature? Think about the protection it may silently offer. Islam teaches us to observe signs carefully without fear. Do you know someone who experienced a protective event involving an animal? Share your story. Spiritual and symbolic interpretations. In Islam, not every appearance of an animal is automatically a divine sign. Yet believers are taught to observe the world with mindfulness and reflect on subtle lessons. Spiders, for example, can symbolize patience, protection, and gentle warning. But this symbolism is always contextual, meant to guide thoughtful reflection rather than incite fear or superstition. Many families today have noticed repeated spider appearances during times of tension or difficulty at home. In these moments, instead of reacting with anxiety, some choose to reflect. They consider their behavior, resolve disputes, and consciously create a calmer, more peaceful household. This small act of reflection often restores harmony and reminds them of Allah's subtle guidance in everyday life. The Qur'an reinforces this principle of reflection. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of night and day are signs for those of understanding. 3:190. Even tiny events, a spider appearing repeatedly, a minor coincidence, or a small obstacle, can be an opportunity for introspection if we pay attention. Allah speaks to those who reflect, teaching that guidance can come in both grand and subtle forms. The lesson is clear. Observe patterns in the small things around your home. Reflect on your actions, relationships, and environment. Often, these tiny signals encourage believers to make positive changes and strengthen their connection with Allah. Are you noticing patterns in small things around your home? Could these appearances be reminders to reflect or act? Sometimes Allah speaks in subtle ways we overlook. Have you ever noticed repeated small events that made you pause? Share in the comments. Common myths versus Islamic perspective spiders have long been the subject of myths and superstitions. Some believe that seeing a spider in the home brings bad luck, invites disease, or signals impending misfortune. Others think a spider might be an omen or a warning of something negative to come. While these beliefs are widespread, Islam teaches a very different approach. Fear and superstition have no place in a believer's heart. In reality, spiders are part of Allah's creation, fulfilling a role that benefits humans and the environment. Consider a modern example in Nairobi, where neighbors frequently destroyed spider webs in their homes, fearing curses and misfortune. After consulting an Islamic scholar, they learned that spiders are natural creatures provided by Allah to help control insects and maintain balance. They were advised not to harm or fear them unnecessarily, recognizing that superstition misguides the heart and distracts from reflection and gratitude. This example emphasizes the importance of balance. Islam encourages believers to recognize the natural purpose of creatures, however small or seemingly insignificant. Avoid baseless fear or superstitions. Respect all of Allah's creation, understanding that every creature plays a role in the divine order. By shifting perspective from fear to understanding, a home becomes a place of reflection, appreciation, and calm, rather than worry and suspicion. Recognizing the natural purpose of spiders and other small creatures allows believers to live with mindfulness, respect, and spiritual awareness. Are you treating spiders as signs of doom? Stop and think again. Islam teaches respect over fear. Understanding nature correctly removes unnecessary worry. Do you follow myths about spiders, or have you learned their true purpose? Comment below. Practical guidance for Muslims. Now that we've explored both the natural and spiritual aspects of spiders, let's focus on practical guidance for Muslims in their daily lives. Spiders are not meant to be feared or treated as omens, but their presence can serve as subtle reminders if we observe carefully. 1. Don't kill spiders unnecessarily. Spiders play a vital role in controlling insects and keeping homes cleaner. By allowing them to exist safely, you are respecting Allah's creation and maintaining the balance He has established. 2. Observe and reflect rather than panic. When you see a spider, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself if there is a lesson to learn or a habit to improve. Repeated appearances may serve as gentle reminders rather than curses. 3. Make your home spiritually safe. Maintaining cleanliness, offering regular prayers, and remembering Allah in your daily life creates a home filled with light and protection. Spiders or any small creatures are less likely to be a source of fear when the home's atmosphere is rooted in faith and mindfulness. A modern example illustrates this beautifully. A family in Riyadh noticed spiders appearing frequently in certain corners of their home.
Instead of removing them in fear, they reflected on their habits, improved their prayer routines, and consciously worked to create a calmer, spiritually grounded environment. Over time, the home felt lighter, peaceful, and full of barakah, demonstrating how mindful observation and spiritual practice can transform even the smallest everyday occurrences into lessons. These small creatures can remind us of reflection, patience, and mindfulness. They encourage us to maintain order, uphold faith, and remain conscious of Allah's presence. Next time you see a spider, pause and reflect. Could it be reminding you to clean, pray, or be mindful? Small creatures can carry lessons if we observe carefully. How do you usually react when you see a spider? Share your approach. Conclusion and reflection. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the key lessons we've learned about spiders in our homes. First, spiders are part of nature and serve a clear purpose, controlling insects and maintaining balance in our environment. They are not to be feared, but observed with respect and mindfulness. Islam teaches us to honor all of Allah's creatures and to reflect on the signs He places around us. The story of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reminds us that even the smallest creatures can play a role in Allah's protection, guiding and shielding believers in ways we might not immediately recognize. It is important to avoid superstition. Fear and baseless assumptions about spiders only distract us from reflection and gratitude. Instead, we are encouraged to see small creatures and everyday occurrences as opportunities to pause, evaluate our habits, and deepen our spiritual awareness. Observing the world with mindfulness allows us to grow in patience, awareness, and connection to Allah. Take a moment tonight to observe your home differently. Notice the small creatures around you, reflect on their purpose, and consider the subtle lessons they might bring. By doing so, you create an environment of mindfulness, peace, and spiritual growth. Have you ever reflected on small events like this? Take a moment tonight to observe your home differently. Could tiny creatures be delivering subtle reminders? After watching this video, will you look at spiders differently? Share your thoughts below.